The day has finally come. Everything is packed, all the gear, all the clothes, and I'm ready to head to the airport in about 5 minutes. Now let's just hope that these bags are less than 30 kilos. I made it through security and through the check-in. I had like 2 kilos overweight, but luckily the guy let me through without any extra fee. And now all that is left is the journey to Bali. It will still take 2 days because I have a long overlay in Doha. And because of that, I wanted to do a little video. I wanted to talk about a trick or a technique that you can use to improve your filmmaking career. And not only that, you can also apply it in your friendships, relationships, and overall in your everyday life. The reason why I thought about this topic is because I'm flying back to Indonesia after being gone for 2.5 months. And my fiance Laura, she stayed in Indonesia, which means that we've been apart for 2.5 months. And so I've decided to surprise her and come 4 days earlier than she expects. And basically, this act of taking an extra step to do something is what I want to elaborate on today. Before we jump into it, I need to jump into my plane. I made it to Doha and it feels so good to wake up in a bed compared to one of these small airport chairs where I would have to crouch. And as I said, what I would like to talk about today is taking the extra step in whatever it is that is expected from you. This could mean taking an extra step in your relationships, in your friendships, in your business, and of course, in filmmaking. Why this works is because inherently you're doing something nice for another person. And in all honesty, who doesn't like that? I'm sure we've all been in a situation where our business partner or maybe a friend did something nice for us, an extra step, something that we didn't expect to happen. And it felt nice. And I'm also sure that you did something like that for someone you know, maybe for your family, for your friends, or maybe in your business. And I bet that it also felt really good, helping another person, delivering something extra and surprising them. Now, if we're gonna have a little deeper look on why this works, well, it's because psychologically, when you do something nice for someone else,
It's very nice.
and that person on the other side receives that benefit. First of all, they feel appreciated, they feel thought of, it makes them know that you care. And also, subconsciously, it creates a feeling that they now owe you something. Because you did something for them, they feel like they should do something for you in return. And for the person taking the extra step, it also feels good, especially if you did something and it came from your authentic self, You did it because you really wanted to, not because you felt like if you do that, the other person will owe you something. And so basically, these small or even big extra steps can really get you a long way on your journey. Ready for the airport? So my flight to Bali is boarding soon, but now that you know the trick of taking the extra step, let's talk about some real life examples. So the first example when working with a client would be to basically over-delivering. What I mean by that is that you have a certain set of deliverables for your client, and usually what happens is that, not again. And usually what happens is that we as filmmakers end up with extra footage. So what you can do from that footage is maybe you can create 1 or 2 extra reels and then send them to the client and mention something like this: hey, I found this extra footage that I had on my hard drive. I thought that this might be really beneficial for your social media or something like that. And by doing that, you basically show that you care, you show that you're taking the extra step to deliver something on top of what you agreed to. And this can lead to building better relationships with your client or maybe getting you hired again in the future. Second example is about networking. This is something I do quite often, and I try to do it more often these days when I connect with people on socials. And usually it's, professionals, filmmakers, DPs, directors. I try to connect with people that I would genuinely connect with in the real life. So people with same interests, maybe people with similar style. And through that, you can take extra steps to show these people that you care. One example is maybe you connect with a DP who's a climber and you also like climbing. And then suddenly you see a climbing meme on Instagram. And so you take that meme, you send that to that person and send something like, hey man, saw this and thought about you. And just think about it. When you do that, when you show interest in someone else, and it's not just because of work, but because of who they are, that will make that person feel really good. And that will lead to then hopefully building a long-lasting relationship, but also friendship. And if you would want to take this to another level, then you can even send opportunities and jobs to the people that you want to build relationships with. I'm sure that with these two examples, you can now start thinking for yourself and come up with the ways that you can take an extra step that are authentic for you. And if you come up with something original, definitely let me know in the comment section below. And as I said, taking an extra step can also help you in your friendships and in your romantic relationships. And that's why in a few hours I'm gonna surprise my fiancée Laura in Bali. She's not expecting anything, so I bet her reaction is gonna be quite priceless. Thank you. Okay guys, landed in Bali, now on my way to the villa to surprise Laura, and we are almost there. Hola, Piva.